Good afternoon. Welcome to OptionsTender. It is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. July 11th, 2025. Let's go through this really quick. Not a whole lot to update, but we want to check out those indicators each and every day so we can see and learn off of them what is happening. And you know what? This picture says it all. I think we topped and we're reversing off of it. We may not get, any follow through today, but we'll be looking into next week. And that's because of the doji candle that is forming on the weekly. And we'll look at that in the weekly analysis coming up here on Saturday or Sunday, whatever time I decide to put it out. After we get those options expected moves out to the $4.99 a month members. So if you're interested, consider becoming that level member, or if you want to get these videos intraday, consider becoming a 99-cent YouTube supporter. All right, you guys, let's jump into it. One thing to point out, the market is, the breadth is terrible. All right. Nothing's holding up this market, but just a couple names, and mostly it was just NVIDIA giving that order flow for that positive order flow for these big tech names to hold things up for a little bit. Okay, we'll see that in the indicators, the breadth going down, and you'll understand what I'm talking about in a little bit. But I just wanted to give you that. We have SPX on the daily time frame. We have the 1929, the turquoise 2022 top there. We reversed out of the, broke the trend line here, back tested, also hit that trend line. There's a confluence here, and I think this is just a pause because it's a Friday forming a certain candle, which is just an equilibrium right here, and I think that's going to break down following through next week. Okay, moving averages above. We're testing at 8 EMA. That's what's giving us our little bounce there. Calling an oscillator. Breadth is terrible. It's heading lower. The market is going to follow. You can look at this example in the near term. There's many examples, but as breadth, you see price action is getting higher, but weak and just chopping. That's what was happening here. Got a new high and a lower high with negative divergence, and then the market just finally collapsed as breadth was terrible and the big tech stocks let go. All right, MACD, we're looking for that histogram crossover. Did we get it today? I don't know. I think it still looks green, but we're looking for a crossover here, and then this full cycle should follow along with it. Negative divergence RSI, negative divergence in everything that we've been looking at. We showed yesterday. All right, we had our sell signal back here at 913, so 913 here, and we're looking for the reverse off of there. So the exhaustion, negative divergence, finally a red bar. Go to SPY. Just going through this quickly. We want to get on with our weekend, right? Money flow index. Boom, catching reversals, same thing. I know it's heading a little higher here, maybe even gets to the overbought territory, but right now we're looking at negative divergence and money distribution coming out of this product. Bollinger Band, no setup there. LA Oscillator, we got I think that might be a slight divergence there, but on the lower time frames we showed yesterday, if you want to look at that, the two hours, what we're really focused on, getting that divergence on the lower time frame, and we got that yesterday. Let's go to VIX. In VIX, we talked about in the cycles. Well, first of all, I drew you two more wedges here. So we had that original wedge, and then we had a bullish falling wedge here. And it's looking really, really good for this setup. And we had this falling wedge right into the cycle low here. It was beautiful how this formed. We had this low. We had a rising phase here. And then as we got into the declining phase, we did get a minor low, which gave us a bounce, and we made a new low for this wedge. And I think this is going to be the bottom. We said that the ideal low was here in 710. All right, we got that yesterday. That's what gave us our little bounce here for the market. And now it's pulling back. So does the market make one more high? I guess it's possible. But is the VIX done? It's most likely it's made a low. So that would be a divergence if the SPY ETF made a new high and VIX made a higher high or a higher low, excuse me, then that'd be diverging, and we'd mark ourselves at the top in the market and the bottom in the VIX. So beautiful looking setup here. Obviously, it's 2020 hindsight, but this is gonna, after this breaks out, we're gonna probably make new highs eventually. SPY. Let's do 65. And if you're new here, check out that weekly analysis from Monday and maybe yesterday's video. That's all you probably need to catch up on. And just, catch what we've been talking about. We talked about in last week's video that we're probably going to set up some sort of weekly reversal candle because all we had was three large green candles for the weekly, and we needed to not needed to, but we're likely to get some sort of reversal type candle to show us that momentum was waning and we're looking for a turnaround in the market. Okay, here's our 65 traditional look here, our wedge, and then formed another wedge here, broke down and made new highs with an extension here. So the move could have been done right here with the wave count. And we talk about extensions often, so I want to keep talking about it. After making this, in my opinion, 1, 2, 3, 4, with this wave 5, you had five waves in here that could have completed, but instead this became a wave 1, held on to this correction, that 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's called an extension. Now, forming this new trend line here, we broke down from it yesterday, and we're just kind of forming a bear flag, in my opinion. Made a new all-time high in all the indices with negative divergence on everything. Daily time frame, all of these, 2 hours, 4 hours, all that. So in my opinion, this is probably it. We broke down and we do have a bullish situation, which again, you can look at yesterday. And if you want a bigger picture on Monday, we'll go through that again tomorrow, obviously. But looking at, we had this trade here. That trade it has only one more day, really one more trading day on Monday. So we'll see if it works out. We have plenty more with longer distance expirations on it. So not really worried about it, but I want to show this trade we had here and why. And again, that's something I did on Monday's analysis because we took the trade on last Thursday in the short week. Okay, moving averages. All right, fighting with that 8 and the 20. We're just being squeezed right in between there. Again, I think that will resolve to the downside, but if we make one more high and a back test here, possible. But I think the VIX low is in. We're getting our red histogram. This is our first sign of the market probably cracking here. So we're getting our crossover here with negative divergence on each of these peaks here. So I think this is the great start of it. This gap down probably won't close the gap, but we'll be looking for some lower situations going into next week. The market's getting weak here on the RSI. Slow Stoke is heading lower, so we have our tailwind with the MACD and the Slow Stoke to the downside. DMARC, nothing to really set up here. We're starting to count to the downside, so let's see if we get that 9 count exhaustion to the downside. Maybe this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 wave move. Awesome oscillator. Again, negative divergence when we hit this peak yesterday, and now starting to break down. Money flow, same thing. Negative divergence. Money starting to flow out of the market. You set up here. We had our sell signal that happened yesterday. We talked about it. We had the RSI overbought right into the top of the Bollinger Band. Got our sell. Let's see if we get continuation. LA oscillator, that's what we talked. We had the 65 divergence a lot earlier, but we were talking about having another one because we didn't have it on the 2 hour yet. And that happened yesterday. All right, you guys, that's it. Nice, short, sweet. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in the weekend analysis, and we'll talk to you soon. Come join us in the Discord.